Waltz with Bashir. This is a very interesting animated film since it holds its place in history as the first animated feature-length documentary. Now, I've heard and seen of documentaries on animation, like The Persistence of Vision and Waking Sleeping Beauty, but never the other way around, since documentaries are about documenting real life and not creating life like the purpose of animation. But can this film successfully blend two film mediums to tell its story? Or do documentaries and animation simply don't mix? Let's find out. The story. When it comes to documentaries, they maintain a pretty simple story to get their message across or to document an event from beginning to end. In this case, we follow the creator of the film, Ari Folman, and his quest to regain his memory he somehow forgot from the Lebanon War. The film managed to successfully guide us in the eyes of Ari by starting off knowing nothing about what's going on, then slowly but surely putting the pieces all together to know what happened during that fateful day. This also helps with how each story told by the interviewees seem to all connect with each other, as well as to the events that Ari wants to remember. Speaking of which, what makes this movie stand out from all the other documentaries, well, other than it's animated, it's that when the interviewees tell their stories, the film would actually show us what's happening as the people explain what's going on. This really does help get into the movie and to fully understand both what happened and what they've been through in that Middle Eastern war. The story is simple enough, and we do get a taste of the point of views of many other people, but the way the movie explains it is an experience unlike any other. The animation. A lot like this movie, the animation is presented unlike any other animated feature. To fit with the dark tone that the film displays, the design is very realistic with very few colors shown on screen, giving out a more comic book feeling. Same can be said with the backgrounds. It feels like it's been taken right out of reality and just stylized it to look more handmade on paper. Not only that, but it manages to capture the gritty and dangerous environments of the Middle East by presenting how much of a war zone it has become. As for the animation itself, it manages to greatly make the people move so realistically to the point that not only feels natural, but also believable, as if it's saying that these are actual people. By the way, believe it or not, this is a complete mixture of flash animation, hand-drawn, and CG. At many points, it feels like it manages to blend these three mediums beautifully, feeling like they all belong in this one world. However, having these three mediums together can have some setbacks. There are times when it feels obvious when they would go more flash or go more hand-drawn, and it makes the quality a little mixed, where sometimes you can see where the animators did some great work, and then there are times where they would cheap out by going flash. It's just that it feels a little inconsistent at times. Now, before I go any further, I just want to add that as the movie would progress, it becomes clearer and clearer why this film has to be animated. In fact, it's the only way to present it. If they truly want to capture the grand scale and intensity of being in a Middle Eastern war, they have to animate it to get that complete feeling. Even animating the present time where Ari interviews his army friends really helps get into the world that the movie is showing us. I don't think there's ever been a time where the animation felt so real. The characters. Okay, maybe the term characters isn't really the right one for this, considering that the people in the movie actually exist in real life, and many of them are actually the people presented on screen. The most important person the movie follows is Ari Folman, a filmmaker who just finished his military service and wants to figure out why he couldn't remember his time in the Lebanon War. In a sense, Ari is the eyes of the audience, guiding them on his quest to seek out answers that will regain his memory and knowing as much as the viewer does the whole way through. As for the rest of the people in this film, they all play the same role. They try to help out Ari by either giving him advice on what to do or doing interviews recounting the events they've encountered during that war. With each story they tell, they explain how they become the person they are today, like how Ronnie Diag couldn't forgive himself that he ran away to survive while his comrades all died, or how Karmi Kanan wanted to show that he has as much strength than smarts by joining the army and succeeded. There's not really much else to say about the people in the movie other than they managed to play their roles very interestingly, as well as taking time to talk about themselves. Waltz with Bashir is probably the most innovative animated feature since Toy Story. With its captivating animation, Ari Folman managed to successfully capture the brutal feeling of being in the Lebanon War while showing the audience the journey he had to go through to regain his memory to what he has done during that time in full detail. This is a must-watch for any fan of movies depicting modern war, like Saving Private Ryan and Apocalypse Now, or even people who enjoy the plot of modern war games, like Call of Duty or Battlefield. Also, I would highly recommend that kids should stay away from this, not only because of the violence, but also because of its very dark tone. This is the kind of innovation and creativity that I always look out for in animation. And with how well this movie manages to do that, it truly earns itself the AniMat's seal of approval. Hey guys, this is AniMat. Now, I'm sure you guys are pretty shocked right now over the fact that, number one, this review is a lot shorter than I normally do, and number two, this is actually the first AniMat's reviews that got a 10 out of 10 since Toy Story 3. So, I guess I'll let you guys try to let that, sink in, and try to believe what you just saw. But, in the meantime, let's try to pick out the next review in the animation hat. And by the way, if you have a suggestion for an animated film you would like me to put in the hat, then write me an email at animatsreview@gmail.com. So, let's hope we get another good one. Maybe another 10 out of 10. That would be awesome. Come on, man. Get up. It's not easy catching one. Okay, good. There we go. Okay. Finally, I got one. Okay. The next review is going to be... I actually am interested to see this one. It ain't Madagascar, but it is the closest thing to it.